Children, when they grow up, they begin to ask questions like, who created God? Was he from ever? How could a thing be from ever? And who created the universe? If God did, then who created God? And so on and so forth. These are the questions which ultimately tire them out. If they do not have access to some knowledgeable person who could lead them on to the right conclusions, many a time they're lost in the wilderness of agnosticism. Agnosticism is lack of knowledge, where they do not know whether God exists or does not. So their journey into the outer world begins with this agnosticism. But the outer world most often is positively anti-God and atheistic in its attitude. The educational system in most of the modern countries, in the name of secularism, leads people away from God. And some positively claim that there is no God, it is just a myth, just an illusion of the people who believe in Him. If you permit them to go out in the world of darkness, it would be extremely dangerous and harmful for them to change from a sort of light into a pitch darkness, which results in following an atmosphere which is agnostic to God. Agnostic in some ways, but in many other ways is hostile to God. And agnosticism and hostility to God, they both have common borders. In America, unfortunately, I have noticed this, that it is ultimate atheism which results in the moral destruction and degradation of the younger generations, which grow with this, to begin with, agnosticism, and then ultimately are led on to positive atheism. Agnosticism can be described or defined before you with reference to everyone who grows with some ideas which have been pumped into him right from his or her childhood. Such children as are born in godly families, right from their childhood, they are told of the existence of a God. And without questioning that claim, they begin to believe in that. But then there comes this difficult period of growing into a new phase of their independent existence. Always, it so happens that a person who enters this phase, sooner or later, begins to question his beliefs which he or she had inherited. It is the mothers who must enlighten them as to the realities of God. And right from their childhood, they must be told the love of God should be suckled into them, like a mother suckles her child. And it should become a part of their system. So when they reach this age of uncertainties, before that age, the mothers should enlighten themselves to all the answers of these questions. Otherwise, this love of God which you bestowed upon them would go waste, because when they reach this puberty, the age of puberty, and begin to question things which they thought they were born with, they no longer believe in them unless properly guided. So it is here where I want Lajna Ma'illah, or the Ahmadi ladies, to be prepared before this time comes. These questions can be many-sided. An example I have given to you, and that example is that of doubt as to the existence of God on the basis of their human experiences. It is not an ordinary basis. when children are taught by their mothers that I gave birth to you, they say, who gave birth to you? And they say, my mother gave birth to me. And say, who then? And so on and so forth. So this is the first mistake which is committed here. They believe that everything which is born has to be born herself. Like that. Like a finished unit. And then when you go on telling them, God created you because there has to be some creator. At that moment, the seed of doubt is born. And they believe in a philosophy where everything which is created has to be created itself. Right from the beginning, you should tell them that we are not eternal. One thing is certain, and only this thing is certain, that we are not eternal. We came into being, we don't know how, not fully at least, but we know that before our beginning there was nothing. There was just death and stark death which prevailed and nothing else did. There had to be some conscience, some consciousness preceding that hour of death which gave birth to us. Because death cannot give birth to life by itself. Unconsciousness cannot give birth to consciousness. So it is that which has to be told them right from the beginning. It will create no problems for them later on. Because this is a simple logic. Death cannot give birth to life. It is something which every child understands and can understand. Unconsciousness cannot give birth to consciousness. That's the second step. And the third is that we know that we are not eternal, so consciousness has to be eternal. And it is that consciousness which gives birth to everything. Now, if you teach the preliminary lessons in belief in God in a systematic manner, which is true, the alternate cannot be proved. All the great atheistic philosophers have attempted their best to prove this system of logic to be wrong, and they strike their head against stone walls and cannot go across. Now, I'm telling you this because I have read all about the atheistic philosophy, where they begin to object against the existence of God through ordinary logic, ordinary human logic. Those who are wiser among them, they ultimately reach this point beyond which they cannot travel. They know for themselves, certainly, that life is not eternal. And if life is not eternal, life must have been born by some eternal life. Children can live with their parents eternally if they remain children eternally. But when they grow up, something within them begins to grow and blossom into a new set of pleasures. This is what we call adulthood. With adulthood, they are attracted towards new things in life which they could not find in their parents. So that is the moment when they begin outward looking. They have somehow to appease the urge for something more, something which their mothers could not give them, something which their fathers could not give them, their brothers could not give them, but they need it. There, a different type of companionship would be required by them from you. There, first of all, the warning signals which should be given to them, you must be prepared for that challenge ultimately to their belief in God. For that, not only your verbal instruction is required, but also special books should be chosen by you, which deal with this subject. Because I know many among you cannot handle the question of belief in God properly, and if they handle it themselves and improperly do so, then they themselves would be responsible for sowing the seed of non-belief in their children. So turn to such literature which is available in Jamaat Ahmadiyya, which is first of all to be read by the mothers. They should thoroughly familiarize themselves with that literature. And then they should be ready for any questions from their children, and so that they can somewhat answer the questions, and later on, when they can begin to read well and understand what they read, you can give them the books and tell them to read them through and come back to you with more questions. So in this way, an educational exercise begins at home. And in this way, they're not suppressed. They're not just told dogmatically, there is a God, believe it or not. And in this way, you can inquire from them. What about this objection? And what about that? And they should answer back with the help of the literature they have read. No, mother, you're wrong. I have read that this is exactly the state of affairs, not what you think is. So when the children become the teachers, that is the most certain way of teaching them. Give the appropriate books to your children and expect them to teach you and satisfy your query and answer to your questions. In this way, I hope, and this is my experience, that this hope is founded on truth. I hope that inshallah from then on they will be the guardians of the belief in God and the unity in God.